Hello, this is Coach Aaron Saft and the MR Runningpains podcast. I am going to do a brief intro here, and after that, I would send you to my YouTube channel. In the title and in the show notes is the link to the YouTube video that I did with Sarah Warren, who's an athletic trainer for taping your feet. I was able to thankfully salvage that episode. I talked about last week not being able to pull those off of the little micro SD cards, but thankfully I was able to do so for this episode. I am still trying to pull the episode from Scott Sosha and Joe Quinlan about pedorthics, orthotics, and footwear, and the function of footwear. So I'm still working on that. I still hope I can. If not, they are so kind as to be able to re-record because I really valued that conversation, and I am super sorry that it's not coming off that SD card. I'm not sure what happened, but hopefully we can salvage it. Anyhow, I want to thank Sarah for her time and helping me record this podcast. Sarah is the athletic trainer at the high school at which I coach. So we got together, and I had a listener request taping feet. Now, these are ways to relieve pain in the foot, not so much if you have a hot spot or a blister. She talks about it a little bit in the video. This is more if you have plantar fasciitis or turf toe or one of those maladies. She goes through some taping techniques that might help. So I will try to do another episode. Sarah wasn't as familiar with taping hot spots and blisters, so just know ahead of time this is for pain in the foot. And she goes into how to tape an ankle as well, which is pretty in-depth, as you'll see in the video. So there's some good resources there, but as I said, this is not for hot spots or blisters. I'll get to that in another video. I'll try to find somebody that can do that one as well. So, but I hope you enjoy the video of Sarah, and then thank you again, Sarah, for doing that for me. Other things that are going on. I had some openings pop open. Things happen, obviously, with athletes. So I have a few spots that opened up that I wasn't anticipating. So if you're looking for coaching, please reach out. That'd be great. Contact is in the show notes. Again, there's no March newsletter this month. I just don't have the bandwidth. Unfortunately, time is very limited at the moment. A number of you have been asking about some training updates as well, which it's been, going extremely well. I had my longest mileage week in some time last week, topping just over 80 miles. Been a while since I haven't done a race and gotten 80 miles in a week. Did a long run of 22 miles with a little over 3,000 feet of gain. Those of you that are familiar to Western North Carolina, I live on the Mills River side of the Blue Ridge Parkway. So I ran from my house into the Mills River Rec area and up Service Road 5000 or Wash Creek to the Parkway, and then climbed up, shut into Fair and Knob, climbed over Fair and Knob, and down a bit until I hit the 11-mile mark. So I was 11 miles away from my house, and then made the return trip to out and back. Really good run. I did twist my ankle, unfortunately, again last week. So my ankle is it's in some pain again. Thankfully, it only takes a little while to warm up in a run, and then I don't have pain. But I did roll it again. So it's not quite 100%, obviously. I need to keep working on strength and those components to help let it heal. I've been coached by Patrick Riggin, and oh man, he's got some variations of some workouts that I prescribe my athletes. As I record this here, it's March 8th, and man, today I did a 4-mile warm up. I needed a little bit longer of a warm up. My body wasn't quite wasn't quite awake. So I got 4 miles in, and then on Yellow Gap Road, or I think it's 1206, Service Road 1206. I started from the bottom. There's a gate, and that's where kind of the good climbing begins for that road. And I climbed 1.5 miles, averaged about 8:45-ish pace on the climb, and then got 2 minutes and 30 seconds rest. Turned around and then kind of came down. You had a cruisy speed. It was about 6-minute pace. Came back down. 2 minutes 30 seconds rest. Went back up. It was about 8:20 pace on the way back up, so a bit faster. 2 minutes and 30 rest, and then I came 1.5 miles back down, and I averaged about 5:30 pace. Koros says my best mile was 5:23. I really haven't touched those paces for that length of an interval in a long time. So fitness is coming back around. It's I'm still taking my easy days super easy. Patrick always comments how low my heart rate is when I'm running. Now, granted, my recovery runs, I'm running anywhere from 11:30 pace to 12-minute pace, but my heart rate's around 97 to 105 beats per minute, which is zone 1 for me. So that said, I'm really taking the easy days easy, which, after an effort like today, tomorrow will be super easy. And I can't stress enough how important it is to kind of touch in those zones and become more aerobically efficient in, especially in zone 2. People can't think about zone 1. They can't think about, running in zone 1, which is fine. Zone 2 is where you need to become efficient if you're an ultra runner. And if you're a marathoner, that's where you should be doing your recoveries, is zone 2. Make sure it's easy enough that you're recovering from your harder efforts. Your other days will be so much better if you can just slow down. I'm just going to keep preaching that because, it's really working for me. I feel so much better on my other days, just taking the easy days super easy. Had a question about doubles, and I released a Patreon only a podcast episode about doing doubles. I don't have doubles yet in mind. I've been able to build my mileage without including doubles. Now, if I were to try to reach 90 or 100 miles, which I really haven't talked to Patrick about what peak mileage is going to be, but if I'm going to get there, then I'm going to probably be including some doubles, especially on my recovery days, which split recovery days is one way to do it. In which you include, a morning run, and then you want to give your body good, ample rest between to make it truly an efficient recovery run. And that's ideally you're talking about 10, 12 hours between runs, but reality sometimes it's 6 to 8. But so when you're doing those, that's another way to kind of build in some mileage. So you may do 4 miles in the morning and 4 miles in the evening. In the past, I've done 6 miles in the morning and 6 miles in the evening. That's 12 miles, obviously, for the day. It's a good way to build in some extra mileage at easy pace, working on, again, those low aerobic zones, just recovery. But again, I did a whole, kind of Patreon podcast as to, here's what I suggest for double runs for the Patreon supporters. So thank you, Patreon supporters. And they continue to ask some questions. Continue to try to do some private episodes for them. But yes, but if you have more questions, I'm always happy to answer questions. Again, this is that's why I have the podcast. I'm trying to be relevant and help out and answer questions and give people some different ideas about training, how to make the best of your training. So hopefully it's doing such. You can reach out to me in any way. Folks ask questions on Strava. That's fine. I'm not a big poster on social media, but it doesn't mean I don't go down there and check things and make sure I'm answering messages on there. So if that's your avenue of communication, that's fine. My email is also in the show notes. You can reach out through the the newsletter, the website. The website has my contacts on there as well. So please reach out. I appreciate everything and everyone. So thank you guys. I'm hoping I can get that episode that I talked about earlier up next week. We head on vacation. We've got our spring break with the kids, so I'm hoping that episode can happen. If not, I'll probably have a different topic that I can cover and put out there. So we'll see what next week brings, but stay tuned. And again, please head over to the YouTube channel to check out the taping episode, especially if you're having pain. It might certainly help you. Might help you do so. I know with the plantar fasciitis, the taping method that she did, back when I was working at FootRx, Scott used to use duct tape just because it's stronger and it will take more pressure off the plantar fascia. So just some ideas, but she was using simple athletic tape in the video. So again, enjoy the video. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. Again, reach out for coaching if you're interested. I appreciate that. And I hope everybody has a great week.